US President Joe Biden has announced that Israel and Hezbollah have agreed to a US brokered peace deal aimed at establishing a permanent cessation of hostilities between the two parties. Now, in his address to the United States, shortly after Israel's Security Cabinet had approved the agreement, US President Joe Biden announced that as part of the ceasefire, Israel will begin a gradual withdrawal of its troops from Lebanon over the next 60 days. Let's in fact listen in to what he said on that note.
And over 300,000 Lebanese people have also been forced to live as refugees in their own country. And a war imposed on them by Hezbollah. All told, this has been the deadliest conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in decades. How many of Hezbollah's senior leaders are dead, including its longtime leader, Nasrallah? And Israel has destroyed Hezbollah's terrorist infrastructure in southern Lebanon as well, including miles of sophisticated tunnels which were prepared for an October 7 style terrorist attack in northern Israel. But lasting security for the people of Israel and Lebanon cannot be achieved only on the battlefield. And that's why I directed my team to work with the governments of Israel and Lebanon to forge a ceasefire, to bring the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah to a close. Under the deal reached today, effective at 4 a.m. tomorrow local time, the fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end. Will end. This is designed to be a permanent cessation of hostilities.
All right, viewers, there of course you've heard what Joe Biden has had to say. He said that it's designed to be a permanent secession. This is also something that was echoed by French President Emmanuel Macron. Let's also take a look at the terms of the agreement. It's a 60 days ceasefire. So what this basically stipulates is that within 60 days, Israeli forces will pull back from their side and from the areas they have encroached on into Lebanon. The agreement stipulates the deployment of thousands of Lebanese troops as well as UN peacekeepers to the area south of the Litani River, where Israeli forces have currently, they're currently doing their ground operations. Now, International Monitoring Group headed by the United States of America will oversee the compliance from all parties. This is something that the US and France both have stressed upon as well. Israel insisted on the right to take action if Hezbollah breaches any commitment, a provision that was of course opposed by Lebanese officials, but Israel has of course come out and says that if Hezbollah breaches its commitment with regards to the deal that has been inked, Israel reserves to take a right to action. So these are of course some of the very crucial aspects of the deal that has been inked. It's going to of course start from 2 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, that is the meantime of the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Sanjeev Srivastav, International Affairs expert. Thank you, sir, for staying on with us. A very, very crucial development has taken place in the Middle East. A ceasefire deal has now been brokered by the United States and France between Israel and Lebanon. There are reactions that are pouring in from across the world. Netanyahu has come out and thanked President Biden. Meanwhile, both the Prime Minister as well as the President of Lebanon have also showcased their appreciation for this ceasefire deal. Germany has come out and stated that it's a ray of hope for the Middle East. How do you see this deal now impacting the larger war in the Middle East, whether it's the Gaza war in the south or the Israel versus Iran war as well?
Well, Pia, I think this is a very constructive development which has taken place between Israel and Lebanon. And as you mentioned that in detail, that under this deal, a 60-day ceasefire has been proposed. And let's see that this 60-day ceasefire holds and no party breaches this commitment. And if both the sides continue holding up this deal, then it will be also making a very significant impact on the other areas of conflict, that is southern part in Gaza, and also it will create a constructive atmosphere between Israel and Iran for any constructive dialogue to take place. And that will be a very good development if it continues holding up. But at this point of time, a deal has been struck. And as I said, it's a very constructive development. And good sense is prevailing. It is quite apparent. And I think I would like to say here very clearly that if these terrorist entities like Hezbollah or Hamas or Houthis, if they gives security guarantees to Israel that they will not carry out any kind of October 7 like attack on Israel, then I think and if they convince Israel for this kind of situation and scenarios, then I think it will be good for their survival too. But if they do any kind of such act which breaches this commitment, this deal, then I think Israel is not going to stop, and Israel will respond in kind, and as they have been doing after October 7. So I think this deal has come up as an opportunity for these terror entities, though wherever they are existing, they should exist in peace, and they should not put any threatening situation for Israel. They should not threaten Israel. And obviously, if they do it, if they hold up their commitment, then it will be good for them too. It will be good for the entire Middle East region. But we'll have to see, and our fingers are crossed that how Hezbollah goes up with this kind of a deal, and how much commitment they are going to be following it. And let's hope that they do not breach it. But one also point I would like to make: if they breach this deal, then you know that in the United States of America, Trump administration is coming up, and from 20th January onwards, Trump will take over power. And President Trump, though he has been also talking about peace and stability, but he has been also saying that he will promote dialogue and diplomacy. But President Trump's approach towards entire Middle East would be would be that he would be establishing peace through strength. So President Trump will be very hard on these terrorist organizations. And if Hezbollah breaches this kind of a deal, then the United States of America and Israeli action afterward will be very, very hard and very, very tough. So I think it is good that good sense is prevailing, and it is good, as I said, for these terror entities also. It is good for the Iran if they do not threaten Israel anymore. And let's see that what kind of days are up after this deal, and what kind of a commitment they are going to be following. But yes, at the end of it, certainly it's a good day, it's a good news, and it's a very constructive development which has happened in the Middle East.